Boom. Your environment is programming you right now, and you don't even know it. I don't mean that like a warning in some self help book. I mean it like literally. Right now, as of today, the people around you are setting what feels normal to you. The places you're in every day are setting what feels normal as well. And your brain is just quietly taking notes and going, okay, got it. This is what life looks like. And it doesn't ask you if that's what you want, it only adjusts. That's the thing nobody tells you. You think you're making choices, you think you're deciding who you are, but a lot of the time, you're just reflecting back whatever's around you. And so slowly, you don't even feel it happening. And by the time you do notice, you've already become someone you didn't really intend to be. And the worst part is that it doesn't feel wrong while it's happening. That's what makes it so dangerous. It just feels like life. Like this is just how things are. Like this is just who you are now. So think about this. Imagine you move to a new city and everyone around you stays up until 3 a.m. every night. Not because they're doing anything crazy, because but because that's just the vibe. That's when people are awake. That's when things happen. And at first you're tired. You're used to going to bed earlier. But after a few weeks, you're just up at 3 a.m. all the time. And suddenly it doesn't feel weird anymore. It feels normal because it is the new normal now in the environment that you're in. And that's just your brain doing exactly what it's designed to do. It's not failing you, it's actually working perfectly. It's scanning your environment, figuring out what the baseline is, and calibrating you to match it. That's just a survival mechanism. For most of human history, you wanted to match your environment because your environment was your tribe, and your tribe kept you alive. The problem is that mechanism doesn't care whether your environment is good for you. It just matches it. Bad environment, good environment, doesn't matter. Your brain just goes, okay, this is what's normal here. And it just adjusts accordingly. And you mostly don't feel it, which is the part that really gets you. So if everyone around you isn't motivated, your brain starts to register low motivation as normal. If everyone around you is skipping class, skipping the gym, smoking all day, doing nothing with their time, your brain files that away as the baseline. And then when you try to do something different, when you try to work harder or actually show up and lock in, it feels off. It feels like you're doing too much because you are doing more than what your brain has told is normal. And the brain doesn't like that. Here's the thing about the way this actually works in real life. Because it's not like you just start hanging around a bad crowd and immediately become a completely different person. It's not that obvious. I mean, if it was that obvious, you'd catch yourself doing it, right? You'd go, wait, I'm becoming someone I don't want to be. Let me fix this. But it's not like that. It's incremental. It's the tiny adjustments. It's one thing that becomes slightly more normal over time, then another thing, then another. And at no single point does anything feel like a big chance, like a big change. Each individual step feels fine. Each individual step feels like it's you just relaxing a little, being more chill, fitting in, and all those tiny steps in the same direction over months and months and months. And you look up and you're somewhere completely different from where you thought you were going. And this is the part that really messes people up because when you do finally look up, when you finally do notice that something is wrong, that you're not where you want to be, you don't see all those tiny steps. You just see where you ended up. And it feels like it happened fast. It feels like you just woke up one day like this. And that makes it feel even more hopeless. Because if it happened fast, then maybe it's just who you are now. Maybe this is just you. But it's not who you are though, bro. It's just what happened to you in the environment you were in. Those are very different things. And that difference actually matters a lot. And look, I want to be real with you about something. It's easy to hear this and immediately think about your friends like, okay, so I need to find better friends. My friends are the problem. I need to cut people off. And yeah, that's part of it eventually. But that's not actually the first thing though. The first step is just seeing it, realizing, accepting it, being real with yourself, actually seeing it clearly because most young guys in a bad environment genuinely don't know they're in one. That's the crazy part, bro. Like, they're not walking around going, man, my situation is terrible. They're just living their life. And their life feels normal because every single reference point they have is also normal in that environment. So when everyone around you is the same, you literally have no contrast. You can't, it's like you can't see the water you're swimming in. So the first move is really just awareness, just going, wait, let me actually look at this honestly. What is normal in my environment right now? What do the people around me do with their time? What do they talk about? What are their goals? What do they spend their time on? Do they even have goals? And then honestly, like really and truly honestly, genuinely asking yourself, is this the direction that I want to be going in? Because a lot of guys, when they actually stop and look at it clearly for the first time, they realize they've never really asked themselves that question. They've just been going wherever the environment was pulling them. And honestly, the environment wasn't pulling them anywhere positive, anywhere good. And this isn't about your friends necessarily being bad people. I want to say that clearly. This isn't about anyone being a bad person. Like, I feel like most of the time, the people around you who are pulling you down aren't really doing it on purpose. They're not trying to keep you stuck. They're just stuck themselves and they don't know it. And when you're all stuck together, it just feels like life. It's just life. But here's what does happen, and this part is important. When you start trying to change, when you start trying to do something different, the environment pushes you back, it pulls you back in. Not because anyone hates you, just because your change makes people uncomfortable. That's what it is. Your change makes people uncomfortable. So when your friends start saying, "Oh, you've changed," just know that you're growing. They just can't find the words to say that, "Oh, bro, I see you're growing. I see you're getting better." They can't stand to see you win. Understand that. When you start working out, when you stop smoking, when you actually start showing up to things, when you start caring about what you're doing with your time, that creates friction. The people around you who aren't doing these things feel it. Even if nobody says anything, the vibe shifts. You can feel it. Even though nobody says anything, you can feel something in the air is different. The way they look at you, the way they talk, the vibe is different. And the environment's way of pushing back is usually subtle. It's jokes. It's, bro, why are you being so serious all of a sudden? It's, you think you're better than us now? It's making a new version of you feel weird. And because you're still in that environment, because your brain is still calibrated to that baseline, that pressure actually works. It actually pulls you back in. Feel the pull to relax, to be chill, to stop trying so hard, to just go back to normal. But normal is mediocre. Average is mediocre. Understand that. And the pull is real. Like, don't overestimate it. The pull is real. It's not weakness that you're feeling that pull. It's literally just how your brain works and the environment that's pulling you where you're trying to go. Sorry, that's pulling you against where you're trying to go. So let me show you right here what this actually looks like because understanding the mechanism I think is really helpful. So you see here, first thing happens silently. New environment. It sets the baseline. That's the new normal. For example, everyone smokes in the group. That's the baseline. Then you don't feel it, but the baseline becomes the new normal. Smoking becomes the new normal. And here comes the trap, which is normal shapes who you think you are. It shapes your identity. Your environment shapes your identity, right? Then you only see the behavior that follows. The only thing you ever see is the last box, the behavior. You're skipping class, you're not working out, you're smoking every day, you're just drifting. And you look at the behavior and you go, hmm, this is who I am. But, and that feels permanent. That feels like your personality. But the behavior is just the end of a chain that started way earlier. It started with what your environment told you, and your brain was normal. And your brain believed it because your brain always believes the environment. So when you try to change just the behavior without changing anything else, it's so hard because you're fighting every single step of the chain at once. Your environment is still telling you one thing, your brain's baseline is still set to that thing. Your sense of who you are is still built around that thing. And you're just trying to override the behavior with sheer willpower. But you have to remember that willpower only takes you so far. Eventually, willpower will fail. Eventually, and it's not a fair fight. So, what do you actually do? Because that's a real question. Like, okay, I get it. The environment is programming me. Cool. But what do I do with that? And the honest answer is that it starts with one thing. You need new inputs. Not a whole new life, not cutting everyone off tomorrow, not some dramatic overhaul. Just something in your environment that starts pulling the baseline in a different direction. Just even a little. Because here's how this works in reverse. The same mechanism that pulled you down works the other way. If you start putting yourself around people who actually work hard, even a little bit, even just one person that work hard, go to the gym, or high energy people, your brain also starts taking notes and goes, oh, so this is normal too. Okay, so people actually do this. And it starts to recalibrate slowly in the same way it drifted down, it can drift up. And it's not that you become a different person overnight. It's just that your baseline shifts. And when your baseline shifts, different things start to feel normal. Working out starts to feel like something people do. Logging in starts to feel possible. And not because you decided to believe in yourself or whatever, but just because your brain has new evidence about what's normal, new baseline. Okay, that's it. That's the mechanism. Input change the baseline. Baseline changes what feels normal. What feels normal changes who you think you are, your identity. Who you think you are determines what you actually do. And it works in both directions, both up and down, positive and negative, north and south. Got it? And look, I know what you might be thinking. You might be thinking like, okay, but I don't have access to better people. I don't have some amazing group of disciplined guys, diehard guys that I can just go hang out with. And I hear that, like genuinely, most guys at the bottom don't. That's part of what makes it hard, honestly. Trust me, I've been there. But here's the thing. Your environment isn't the only people physically around you. Your environment is everything your brain is taking in every day. Your inputs. Inputs aren't just the people you surround yourself with. It's what you feed your brain every day. The content you consume is part of your environment. The stuff you watch, the stuff you listen to, the people you follow online. All of it is feeding your brain information about what's normal, and all of it is setting a baseline. This is why what you consume every day is not a small thing, even though it may seem insignificant. in the moment. It's not just entertainment. It's literally inputs into the machine, the most powerful machine, the brain, and that determines who you become. If every single thing you're consuming is telling your brain that being a loser, that being a Jeffrey is normal, then that's where your baseline will be. But if you start consuming things that show you a different version of what's possible, your brain starts to adjust. That's the beautiful part. Even if your physical environment hasn't changed yet, that's the amazing part. So if you can start to change your environment right now, today, without moving, without cutting anyone off, without doing anything dramatic, just change what you're putting into your brain every single day. That's a real change. That actually moves the baseline. And it's a small step you can do today. So here's an action step for you. Promise you it'll change your life. So listen up. Go to your For You page and look at the content that's on there. Every account that's making low energy feel normal, that's just slop bullshit, that's showing you nothing you actually want your life to look like, unfollow it immediately. Okay? That's changing your inputs. Subtract. Just subtract. The algorithm adjusts immediately and starts showing you different content. It just takes 2 minutes. That's a real change to your environment. Do that at the end of this video when you finish watching. I promise you it'll change your life. If you actually implement it, I promise you it'll change your life. New inputs. Remember that. Boom. But the real move, the one that actually changes things fastest, is, getting yourself physically around different people, even a little, even one person, because physical environment, it's different than digital. Your brain knows the difference. A real person in front of you who's doing what you wanted to do hits 10 times harder than a YouTube video about it. Makes sense, right? And this doesn't have to be some perfectly curated group of motivated guys. It just has to be someone whose baseline is higher than yours. One person at the gym who actually goes hard. One person at your school who actually cares about their grades in school. One person who has a goal and is working towards it. Someone who is like-minded like you, who thinks like you. That's enough to start pulling the calibration and start changing that baseline. Because when you're around that person regularly, or those people, your brain starts to register your brain starts to register their normal as evidence, and evidence is what changes baselines. Not motivation, not willpower, evidence. Your brain sees something repeated in the environment and goes, okay, so this is what people do, and it adjusts toward that. Remember, your environment shapes you. So, even without you consciously trying, and that's really the shortcut. Not a hack, it's not like a trick, some magic trick. Just putting yourself near people whose normal is where you want to be and letting the mechanism do its work. Now, I want to talk about something that doesn't get said enough, which is that changing your environment is genuinely uncomfortable, like genuinely painful, because your current environment, even if it's bad for you, is familiar. Your brain knows it, it's calibrated to it. It's the baseline, that's what it knows is normal. It feels like home in a weird way, even when it's pulling you down. It reminds me of this quote. It goes like, 10 out of 10 times, the brain will choose a familiar hell over an unfamiliar heaven. And this ties directly into what we're talking about here. A new environment, even a better one, feels foreign at first, because it is. You don't know the rhythms, you don't know where you fit, you feel like an outsider. And your brain, which is always scanning for threats and weirdness, is going, this doesn't feel right. This isn't what I know. Let's go back. Let's go back to the safe place. Let's go back to the comfort. But comfort kills you, bro. Get out of your comfort zone. I never heard that a million times. As cliche as it sounds, comfort is your enemy. Be uncomfortable. Be comfortable being uncomfortable. So a lot of guys try to put themselves in a better environment and then leave after a week because it didn't feel natural yet. They go to the gym a few times and the people there seem intimidating or cliquey or whatever. They try to get around more motivated people and the people there seem intimidating and they just feel like they don't belong. They go back to being what's comfortable and they just tell themselves, they lie to themselves, it wasn't for them. That's just what it was. But that discomfort isn't a sign that the environment is wrong for you. It's it's actually just friction. It's the gap between where your baseline currently is and where the environment's baseline is, where your new environment's baseline is. And the only way through that gap is time. You just have to coast, bro. You have to stay in the new environment long enough for your brain to actually start recalibrating. And that takes longer than a week. I'm gonna keep it real. It takes months, but it happens. And when it happens, you you start to feel comfortable there. And when you start to feel comfortable there, that environment is now your new normal, and you're a different person. Here's something that will probably happen when you start making the shift. The old environment will feel different when you come back to it. Not immediately, but eventually. Like you'll go back to the place it used to be or around the people you used to be around, and something will feel off. Not in like a judgmental way, but like it doesn't fit quite the same anymore. It's not you because it isn't. Like you've changed shape slightly, and the old container doesn't hold you the same way. And bro, that feeling is actually a really good sign. That feeling means the recalibration is working. Your baseline has shifted enough that your old environment now reads as below it. And that's amazing. Your brain is flagging it. That's the mechanism working in your favor. The tricky part is that when you feel that, you might also feel guilty. Like you're abandoning your people or whatever. Like you think you're better than them. And that may be a hard feeling for you to sit with because maybe you do actually care about those people. Like maybe they're your closest friends or the people you grew up around with. Like they've seen you change. They've seen you go through things. You've maybe even been through things with them. But caring about people and letting them set your baseline are two different things. You can care about someone and also recognize that spending every day with them is pulling you somewhere you don't want to go. Those two things aren't contradictory, and the version of you that actually locks in and becomes someone and becomes who you're trying to be is going to be more useful to the people you care about than the version that stayed stuck with them. So let's talk about the identity piece specifically, because everything we've been talking about connects to something deeper than just habits or behavior. It connects to who you think you are, your identity. Your identity, the actual story you tell yourself about the kind of person you are, is actually mostly built from evidence your environment has given you. That's the crazy part. Really think about that. Your identity is mostly built from evidence your environment has given you, like a reflection. If your environment has been showing you for years that people like you don't lock in, and people like you smoke and skip class and drift, then your brain builds an identity around that. Not consciously, not on purpose, but just automatically from repeated exposure, just from what's been normal. And that identity is what makes the behavior so hard to change. Because when you try to act differently, you're not just fighting a habit, you're fighting a belief about who you are. And the belief is louder than the habit. Your the belief goes, bro, this isn't you. You don't do this. This is not the kind of person you are. And because you've been living in an environment that confirmed that belief for years, it feels like it's true. It feels like absolute, undeniable truth. It feels like facts. It feels like just knowing yourself. But it's not facts. Nah, it's not, bro. It's just a story your environment has told you. And the same way the environment built that story, a new environment can build a new one. It just takes time and it takes evidence. Your brain changes the story when the evidence changes. And when the evidence changes, and the evidence changes when the environment changes. So when people talk about identity shifting or identity maxing, as I like to call it, when they talk about becoming a new version of yourself, this is what they actually mean underneath all of it. It's not like some motivational concept or some woo-woo stuff. It's literally just a description of how the brain works. Your identity is a model your brain built from your environment. Change the environment, change the inputs, change the evidence, and the model updates slowly, but it updates over time. And this is why the guys who try to change by just deciding to be different never last. Like they wake up one day and go like, I'm gonna be disciplined now. I'm gonna go to the gym. I'm gonna go for a run. I'm gonna talk to girls. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. And they go hard for 2 weeks, and then fall back and just go back to being losers. And over, they repeat this cycle over and over again. But the problem is that they change the decision without changing the environment, without changing the inputs. So the environment keeps producing the same evidence, and the evidence keeps rebuilding the same identity, and the identity keeps producing the same behavior. You have to change what's going into the machine, not just the outputs you're hoping to get. The outputs are downstream. They always have been. And I know this can feel like a lot, like, okay, my environment built me wrong. It's not who I want to be. So now I have to rebuild everything. And that might feel heavy, it might feel like a lot for you. Feels like a long road. But here's what I actually want you to take away from this. You are not stuck. Genuinely. You're not stuck. What you've been calling your personality, the parts of yourself you think are just how you are, those are just mostly the reflection of what's been around you. And reflections change when you put them in front of something different. You didn't choose your environment when you were young. You didn't choose who you were surrounded by, what was normal around you. You, you just kind of met these people and surrounded yourself with them. And that's what your brain got calibrated to. That stuff happened to you. But from here on, from right now, you do have a choice. Understand that, and it's on you. You can choose what you put yourself around. You can choose what you put into your brain every day. You can change the inputs. And every single one of those choices is a small recalibration. Think of it as a small boat towards becoming the person you want to be. And those votes add up over time. Even though they might seem insignificant in the moment, trust me, those votes add up one on top of each other to the point where they become undeniable. So understand that the guy that you're trying to become is not some distant thing you have to earn the right to be one day. He's just what happens when the environment starts showing your brain a different version of normal. And you can start that today, like right now, with something small. One unfollow, one gym session around one person who's going hard. Surrounding yourself with someone who actually cares about their grades. One conversation with someone whose life looks like where you want to be, where you're trying to go. Small inputs repeated over time. That's the whole thing. Your environment is programming you right now. Remember that. The only question is whether you're going to have any say in what the programming is going to be. So I want to leave you with some action steps so you can actually implement this information and actually change for the better and not just stay a loser. So, two things. First, like I said earlier, go to your For You page, go to your social media, for example, Instagram, TikTok, whatever, and unfollow every account that's making low energy feel normal. Unfollow all the bullshit slop accounts. Unfollow all of them. Unfollow all the Instagram models. Okay? Stop being a gooner. Unfollow all of that. Follow all the bullshit. And you know all the bullshit. Don't bullshit yourself. Just subtract. That's what it is. Unfollow all the bullshit, like I said. And do it after this video. Don't do it tomorrow. Don't say you're gonna do it a little bit later or down the line this week. Do it after this video. If you actually want to change, if you actually want to get out of your rut, if you actually want to be better, change for the better and become the person you want to be, trust me, do that. And second, go to the gym today or tomorrow. Preferably today. But if it's nighttime or whatever, or if you can't go right now, if you genuinely can't go right now, then go tomorrow. And I'm not saying to even like sign up for a membership. Just get a day pass. And don't even research which one. Just go to the gym. Just go to the closest one to your house. Just walk in and be in there. Just go lift some weights. Just hop in the treadmill. Your brain just needs one real piece of evidence that a different normal exists. A room full of people doing something with their bodies is that evidence. So go get it, bro. Now that you have all that information and you know what to do and actually implement that, bro. I want to thank you for watching this video and taking time out of your day to invest into this educational content. If you're watching this, it really means that you're different. You actually want to change for the better, and I'm proud of that. You should be too. Be proud of yourself. Not many people have the balls to wake up and be like, I'm not happy with myself. I want to change for the better, and I'm gonna work for that change. Be proud of yourself, bro. Go do those 2 action steps. Take a screenshot if you have to, but do it directly after this video. Trust me. If you actually want change, do it after this video. And yeah, I really appreciate you watching this video, and it really supports me and this business that I'm building. And yeah, bro, thank you, and have a great day, night, whatever you're in. Don't matter. Have a great time. Peace.